Hey guys, I was a little bit curious this morning. I've been seeing arguments about a Jewish leap year and not for Passover this year, and I can't find anywhere in the scriptures that I've searched anything about a Jewish leap year. And just curious on what you guys take on that is. I know that it's, from what I've read, it comes from a rabbinic understanding of trying to keep certain days in a year or something like that. Just want some clarification whether or not Passover is supposed to be at the end of this month or the end of next month. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. And it was concise and just explained basically everybody's email very well, because we got, like I said, in the past week, we've gotten multiple of these. Okay, I'm going to give my opinion, and then I'm going to kick it over to Rob. We know from first century sources that they were adding leap years. So this is long before rabbinic sources ever say anything about a leap year. We know this from rabbinic sources as well. The Mishnah and the Talmud all talk about leap years that are added to the calendar, and Josephus and Philo all talk about the idea of leap years and adding a month. In fact, they talk about the various reasons that, and my father's written on this, they talk about the various reasons that a leap year would be added or not added. Now, every 3 years or so, you have to add a leap year, okay? Otherwise, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have Passover eventually be at the time of Hanukkah. And eventually, it'll be in the fall instead of the spring. You have to be adding leap years. So the people that are telling you, oh, well, we don't add a leap year because we don't follow the rabbis, they will add a leap year. They'll probably do it next year. So the question is why wouldn't you add it when everybody else is adding it? Why wouldn't you add it now? You have to add a leap year to keep the festivals and everything on track.
Right. The commandment is that Passover is in the spring.
Right.
It's based on an agricultural cycle. We have that because the Feast of Ingathering, right? The Torah gives us a lot of information about the calendar, but one of the frameworks for understanding the yearly calendar is the agricultural cycle in Israel. And that is independent of counting lunar cycles. So it's a complex calculation. But we know that in the book of Joshua, for example, in Joshua chapter 5, it says Israel was in the wilderness for 40 years, and that God said to Joshua to circumcise all the males and to get ready for keeping Passover. And then it says they kept the Passover on the 14th of the first month in the 40th year. Or after, was it the 40th year? No, it's actually the 41st year, because the 40th year Moses and Aaron die. So it's at the end of the wilderness journeys. They keep the Passover before entering the Promised Land. And over 40 years, if you do not have a calibration, you have is it called retrograde? What do you call it? Like every year Passover gets earlier and earlier. And it would have cycled, I don't know, 2.5 times or something like that. The math experts among us can calculate that with pretty good accuracy of how many times Passover would have moved through back through the cycle, or the calendar cycle. And you'd have Passover in the fall, and then you'd have, tabernacles in the spring kind of thing. But we know that that's not the case. We know that after 40 years, Passover was still in the spring. And the only way you can have Passover still be in the spring after 40 years is what they call intercalation, is the lunar cycle is not the only determinant, the only factor. It's one of them, and it's a core factor, but it's not the only factor.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.